Back in 1994, not too many people believed Amazon would amount to much after they sold their first book over the internet. But Jeff Bezos had a vision to have Amazon sell everything over the internet. And 24 years later, Amazon's the largest seller of products globally. Our social enterprise also has a grand vision for nonprofits, for philanthropy, and more specifically, for the type 1 diabetes community. The mission is ultimately to bear the entire financial burden of type 1 diabetes. Did you know that it costs on average $15,000 a year to manage type 1 effectively? And with an estimated 1.25 million people in the US living with T1D and 40,000 more diagnoses each year, the costs to our healthcare system are staggering. As social entrepreneurs, we approach massive issues with a problem-solving mentality. Leveraging creativity, innovation, and collaboration, our first proven model showcases the possibility that top T1D management can be accessible to everyone in the United States. Synergistic philanthropy solves the financial dependency issues that plague most nonprofits, encouraging them to become self-sustainable while exponentially increasing their impact. There's typically two major players involved in social impact: foundations and nonprofits. Foundations have their hearts in the right place, extending grants to nonprofits they are aligned with. But what is the return on investment when a foundation issues a grant? Most people say 0%. But once they issue the grant to the nonprofit, they never see that capital again. Therefore, their actual rate of return on those grant dollars is negative 100%. Think about that for a moment and let that sink in. Now let's jump into how nonprofit organizations typically operate today. It's no secret that nonprofits are completely dependent on grants, fundraisers, and donations for their operational capital. Here are the two major issues with nonprofits being dependent on grants. For one, they're extremely competitive, meaning they're somewhat of a shot in the dark. Then, even if the nonprofit is fortunate enough to be awarded a grant, they typically find themselves handcuffed to the wants, needs, and desires of the grant issuer, as opposed to being free to spend the money wherever they feel could have the most impact for their mission. Secondly, grants are finite in nature, so they are completely unsustainable. Now, let's briefly discuss what makes donations and fundraisers so backwards. Who is most likely donating to a nonprofit? It's the people who feel very close to or aligned with the mission of the nonprofit. So when you really filter it down, the people donating money to nonprofits are the same people that the nonprofit is supposed to be helping. Here's how our model creates synergy by shifting paradigms for both the foundations and nonprofits. Instead of issuing grants, foundations can issue those same grant dollars in the form of program-related investments, PRIs for short. PRIs count like grants under IRS regulations, meaning they still count toward the annual 5% payout rule. However, PRIs are essentially below-market loans or investments. Program-related investments can effectively recycle grant dollars, grow the foundation's endowment, and provide the investee, the nonprofits, with significant unrestricted resources. Here's a quick visual to show how a foundation with a large endowment can experience tremendous social and financial returns simultaneously. By issuing PRIs instead of grants, they can almost instantly be capable of issuing more program-related investments to the community, and their endowment grows substantially because they're getting back all of those PRI dollars plus interest, as opposed to getting nothing back and counting on their endowment to invest in the market to recoup their losses from their annual 5% payout. Now here is how we have replaced financial dependency with financial sustainability. Now that we have social proof and social traction with our model, we're capable of aligning with foundations who are willing to extend PRIs to our organization because they believe in our mission. Our innovative model is called Synergistic STRs, short-term rentals. We are the first social venture that we're aware of that is utilizing platforms like Airbnb to generate proceeds specifically for raising sustainability funding for nonprofit beneficiaries. We've designed our model with enough leverage to not only pay back the PRIs to the foundations, but also we can generate plenty of money for worthy social causes. Our first priority is the type 1 diabetes community, as I've personally battled the relentless and overwhelming condition of type 1 for the last 18 years. Our model also enables us to establish and grow our own endowment so that over time we truly can become completely self-sustainable. Let's quickly recap how we've created a full circle of synergy. Foundations issue low-interest PRIs to us so that we can save millions of dollars in interest and pursue our model to deliver win-win-win solutions. Our partner organization, Synergistic STRs, is capable of thriving in the red-hot and ever-expanding short-term rental market by providing unforgettable experiences to each and every guest on a consistent basis. Synergistic STRs is already becoming a leading brand in the industry by elevating hosting standards while raising guests' expectations. The money generated from the short-term rentals is used to repay the PRIs, plus generate large amounts of money for nonprofits, in our case, the type 1 diabetes community. This allows for an unprecedented level of social impact. And lastly, when the foundations receive their principal back plus interest, they're able to grow their endowment and employ additional PRIs to the community, or right back to us, or other organizations that take a similar, sustainable approach to solving some of our country's biggest issues. As you can see, we have created a round trip of capital that is truly a sustainable solution for the devastating financial burden of type 1 diabetes in the United States. Instead of asking for financial support from the type 1 diabetes community, or from anyone who may not have type 1 but just took the time to watch our video, we simply ask that you save our Airbnb listing. The more people that save our listing, the higher it will rank, meaning more people will see the listing when searching for a place to book in Denver. This will maximize our bookings, which will help us generate the most money for nonprofits and the type 1 community. When you save our listing, you will be entered to win a free 3-day, 2-night vacation at our top Airbnb property. We will be doing the drawing live on June 7th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time from my personal Facebook page, Jason Gensler. Please click the free vacation link at the top of the website. If you're watching this from your phone, please scroll up to the top right corner of your screen until you see the 3 horizontal lines. Then tap them so they expand and click the words Free Vacation. We sincerely appreciate your support, and we cannot wait to blaze the trail for other social enterprises so that they too can utilize our synergistic philanthropy approach to solving complex and difficult problems that our world is faced with. Thank you very much.